Well, if you're anything like me, then you're a warrior. And I don't mean a warrior that goes into battle, but a warrior that worries about everything. Have you ever had a problem that you feel that you need to fix it, and when you do try to fix it, it just gets completely worse, and then you keep worrying about it? It becomes a burden. And it's at that particular time that I had to realize that I didn't have the solution. I couldn't fix it myself, and I had to look for help outside of myself. I tried so many things until I finally picked up my Bible and started to look through for help. So my main question was, what can I do? When I read in 2 Corinthians 5:10, I realized that the answer was a little more clear than what I had seen before. The Bible says, casting down imaginations and everything that exalts itself against God, and bringing into captivity every thought. Now, what does that exactly mean, casting down imaginations? What I saw was that my imagination can play up in many different ways, and it's really those thoughts that keep reoccurring and our imagination that makes a problem seem worse than it really is. And this is the reason why God wants us to submit our minds to Him, so that when the devil comes around with a lie, we won't believe it immediately and we won't be deceived. See, someone once told me that when you don't submit yourself to God, or when you're unsure of the truth, then you will submit to the lie. Filling our minds with truth means that we are able to quickly discern between the true and the false. How many times have we submitted to the lies that float around in our world? Things like, you're not good enough, or no matter how hard you try, you'll still be mediocre. Things like, you're not smart enough. Things like, no matter what you do, you'll never match up to other people. You're not pretty enough. Lies like that. But probably one of the biggest lies that we're taught is that we can never reach the high ideal that God has for us. See, the way that God wants to change us is by renewing our mind. He wants to put His thought into our minds and hearts. Perhaps my favorite verse of all time is the one that says, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, with that love have I drawn you to me. And see, when I look at that verse, I see that a person that loves me with an unfailing and unconditional kind of love is one that's going to pull me out of any situation that I find myself in. This is why I can rely that when His word says that I don't have to believe the lies that are spoken in this world, I know that I can trust Him. I know that He wants what's best for me. And really, that's enough for me. It's enough for me because He's pulled me out of a place where I was constantly worried, of a place where I would get very overwhelmed. When I began to clearly see the difference between what was true and what was false, it was the most unimaginable freedom. It reminds me of the verse that says, if the Son will make you free, you will indeed be free. That is true freedom. That is something that you can't replace with anything else in your life. No matter what you try, it's irreplaceable.